Imagine yourself in a conversation, maybe with a friend, a colleague, or even a business partner. As they speak, everything seems normal at first. The words come out smoothly, but something feels off. There's a subtle change in their posture, a slight shift in their eyes. You can't quite place it, but you're starting to sense that they might not be telling the truth. That gut feeling, that intuition, it's more than just a hunch. It's your subconscious picking up on their body language. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. How to read body language and detect lies in real time. First, let's talk about how to listen to what their body is saying even when their words are convincing. Think about how you react when you're feeling nervous or uncomfortable. You might shift your posture, tap your foot, or even scratch your neck. These small movements are physical manifestations of internal discomfort. The same is true for someone who's lying, but the trick is learning to spot these signs quickly and without hesitation. When someone is lying, their body often betrays them before their words do. Now imagine you're sitting across from them, and they start to fidget. They might not even realize they're doing it, but they're tapping their fingers, playing with their pen, or maybe even moving their feet. These fidgeting motions are a sign of nervousness. Liars tend to fidget because their body is filled with stress, trying to suppress the anxiety they're feeling. The more they're lying, the more intense the fidgeting may become. It's like their body is screaming that something isn't right. As you continue to observe, look at their eyes. Eye contact is powerful, and it's often the first thing we look for when trying to gauge someone's honesty. Someone who is lying might avoid eye contact, shifting their gaze to the side or looking down. They may do this unconsciously, but it's their body trying to hide the truth. They may also overcompensate, holding your gaze for too long, staring at you as if to force you to believe their story. The key is balance. Someone who's comfortable telling the truth will have natural, relaxed eye contact. If their gaze is erratic or overly controlled, it could be a sign they're not being truthful. But it's not just their eyes. Pay attention to their face. Microspersicanes, those fleeting involuntary facial movements, can reveal a lot. Imagine this: they're telling you a story, smiling as they speak, but for a brief second, you catch a glimpse of fear or anxiety flash across their face. That's a microspericane, and it's usually a red flag. People can control their expressions for a few moments, but those microspersicanes, lasting less than a second, are harder to mask. Liars often show emotions like guilt, fear, or anxiety when they're lying. These emotions flash across their face before they even realize it. You might also notice changes in their body posture. If someone is lying, their posture may become more closed off. They may cross their arms, turn their body away from you, or lean backward as if trying to physically distance themselves from the conversation. These actions indicate discomfort, a subconscious attempt to protect themselves and create space between them and the situation. Watch how their body responds to the conversation. If they are more closed off than usual, it could signal that they are hiding something. It's not just about what they do, but also what they don't do. Liars often withhold physical cues that indicate openness and trust. They may avoid using gestures while speaking, as their hands might be hidden under the table or in their pockets. The lack of gestures can be a sign that they are trying to control their body language to maintain control of the conversation. It's also common for liars to speak less naturally. Their sentences may become more disjointed, or they may over-elaborate to cover up the lack of truth. Now, let's talk about their hands. Our hands are one of the most expressive parts of our bodies, and when someone is lying, their hands can give them away. Liars may cover their mouth, face, or throat, subconsciously trying to block the truth. They might rub their nose, scratch their face, or place their hands in their pockets. These actions can signal that they are trying to conceal the truth, or they might touch their face to soothe themselves as they're stressed about the lie they are telling. One of the more obvious signs of lying is the freezing of body movements. Imagine a situation where someone is speaking but suddenly becomes unusually stiff, holding their body rigidly or not moving their arms. Liars sometimes freeze in place as their body tenses up, trying to maintain control of their movements. They may also avoid making any sudden movements or gestures, trying to prevent giving away any unintended signs. Pay attention to how relaxed or tense they are in the conversation. If their body freezes up, it could be because they're holding back something important. Now, let's take a moment to think about their voice. Sometimes it's not just the words that give them away, but the tone of their voice. When someone is lying, their voice can become high or shaky. It's almost as if the body is trying to control the truth by raising the pitch or tightening the vocal cords. Liars might also speak too quickly, rushing through their story as if they want to get it over with, or they may slow down, trying to think of the right words to keep the lie intact. Any changes in their tone or pace can indicate that they're trying to manage their stress or confusion about their story. Now imagine a situation where they're telling you something that seems almost too good to be true. They may seem overly enthusiastic or excessively agreeable, nodding too much or smiling too widely. This could be a sign they're trying to convince you more than they're actually telling the truth. It's almost like they're trying to sell you the lie, make it seem too perfect. This kind of exaggerated body language can be a huge giveaway that something isn't right. It's not just what they say, but how they're saying it as the conversation continues. Notice their feet. They can be more telling than you think. The direction in which their feet point can indicate their true intentions. If their feet are pointed away from you, they might want to distance themselves from the conversation, or even subconsciously try to escape. Liars often point their feet toward the exit or another route, signaling that they're ready to leave or they're uncomfortable with the situation. It's a subtle sign, but when you know what to look for, it can be incredibly insightful. Finally, the real key to detecting lies in real time is practice. The more you pay attention to these signs, the easier it will become to spot a liar just by watching their body language. Don't just focus on one gesture or signal, but pay attention to the overall picture. The consistency between their words and body language is what matters. When their story doesn't align with their body movements, that's when you know something is off. By now, you've learned how to read body language and detect lies in real time. You're more aware of the subtle signs that betray deceit, the fidgeting, the eye movement, the posture shifts, and the facial expressions. Armed with this knowledge, you can walk into any conversation with more confidence, ready to spot the truth hidden in the body language of the person across from you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, because you will learn tons of valuable information in the next video.